Some businesses think it's too expensive to get involved in doing apprenticeships, that they train somebody and they're just going to go work for their competitors down the street. Well, that may be the case, but the point is the entire industry is starving for technicians right now. So if you can engage in an apprenticeship, we thought it well to share with you what the return on investment actually is. And our experience over the last 7 years of conducting apprenticeships in live production body shops, these are the numbers and the stats that we have. So wages and cost and labor rates vary throughout the country. And so this is totally arbitrary. This is based on a sampling of some shops in Southern California, for example. And the table runs out for 5 years to kind of track at what point in time is it too costly to run an apprenticeship. And the answer is not even in year one, where you would expect it would cost more than you could get in return. So in sharing these numbers, if you have an individual at $15 an hour, for example, this calculates their wage. We suggest, and as a best practice, recommend that you provide an incentive for the trainer. They don't just expect them to take somebody on, that extra burden and extra work, and not get compensated for it. And so this includes that substantial incentive that you provide to the trainer. It includes a toolbox, and maybe you're going to spend more or less money than this. That's okay, whatever you end up spending. We have a complete tool list that runs out at about $3,700. If that's what you decide to do, great. If you decide to go with another brand or something, that's also fine. But the point is your numbers may vary slightly. The least cost on this is actually the cost of the training and the curriculum that CCI can provide you. The total invested for year one is about $45,000. At this point, including all wages, incentives, tools, and curriculum, at $45,000, let's look at what the return on that would be. If your shop rate was $50 per flat rate hour, and it varies throughout the country, by the end of their first 90 days, most of our apprentices were at above 60%, but we're going to use that as a number for the entire first year in their proficiency. That would produce out at about 1,200 flags per year. At that point, the labor sales would be about $61,920. If you're running arbitrarily, again, 50% parts to labor ratio, then you're looking at about an equal number of parts sales. This would be total revenue generated from that apprentice. And if you're running about a 70% labor gross profit, if you look at what their cost is and what your shop rate is, that's what your gross profit on labor is. And if you're running about a 25% parts gross profit, you would gross profit out in year one, $58,800. At that point, you're going to be running about 130% return on your investment in the very first year. You can look at the numbers throughout the rest of the screen for a total of 5 years being tracked here. And at no time does the apprentice end up costing you more than you get in return. I hope this helps you decide to get involved with apprenticeship, because it's really an amazing process, and the rewards are not only financially but emotionally rewarding.